Antonio, it has been far too long. We are happy to have you join Undisputed this morning. And I do want to ask you first, Antonio, from what you've seen, how far can Brady and the Bucs go?
I honestly think they can make the playoffs. I mean, I think I'm looking at 10-6, 11-5 record for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, just with having Tom Brady at the Rams at the quarterback position. I think when you look at the whole entire situation, I think people are overreacting for the first two games of the season with Tom Brady. Of course, he didn't have a great first outing against the Saints, but I mean, he come back around and had 198 yards in the first half, and then only threw for 19 in the second half of the second game. But they was able to put up points, something that I didn't really see in the first game because of the turnovers and miscommunications that they had. But the guys haven't even practiced together much. They haven't had a full offseason together. So honestly, you want to say that these first 2 or 3 games are more likely like preseason games. But when you get into it, man, Tom Brady's going to be the same person. He still can make every single throw. He still can throw the ball down the field. And that's what I'm looking forward to as his team and himself get gradually comfortable with each other going into the season.
For me, Crow, I look at it like, no, the offense hasn't looked great, but I think a lot of that had to do with the expectations being so high. I think the thing is, if people would have tempered their expectations, they wouldn't have been disappointed by what they see going on. I also think they would be better served if they let Tom do more of what Tom did for the past 20 years. Tom is really not a guy that pushes the ball down the field. Bruce Arians' offense is an offense that pushes the ball down the field. Tom is really not one of those guys that says, okay, 50-50 ball, let me throw it up to Mike Evans or let me throw it to Chris Godwin. That's not what he does. If you look at what he's done in the first 2 games, he likes to target the slot receivers and the running backs. And that's where mainly his targets go. And so Bruce Arians is getting frustrated because Tom is not going to push the ball down the field and just say, okay, let's go throw a jump ball up to Mike Evans. That's really not what he does. I think if we had tempered expectations, well, I tempered expectations because I know they didn't have OTAs, they didn't have mini camp, there were going to be no preseason games. Training camp was going to be greatly condensed because of what's going on with the corona, with the COVID-19. So I'm not surprised that they're getting out to a slow start out of the gate. It's just with the expectations were so high, they were expecting Tom Brady to average 50 points a game, Skip, and you and I both know that wasn't going to happen. So I do think they will gradually improve. But I think if you're expecting to see the 2013 Broncos offense with Peyton Manning, I didn't think Tampa was ever going to be that.
But you got to think about this. This is one thing you got to think about too. Tom Brady was a guy that took away. His main thing in New England was slot running back because he created mismatches.
Right.
So when you're able to create the mismatches and capitalize on those, that's where he got his big plays from. It was everything for Tom Brady was run after catch. You know, so once those plays was able to happen, then he was able to, okay, now I can throw the ball down the field when I had Randy Moss or when I had other guys, I can get the ball down the field because now everyone is cheating up because he's getting the ball to the mismatches and he's throwing the out routes, he's throwing the crossing routes, he's throwing the ball in the middle of the field because he had those weapons. You got to think, when he was throwing the ball down the field, throwing the ball down the field was actually down the middle of the field with Gronkowski and other tight ends. So it's just a point of just understanding where the ball is going. And Tom Brady understands where he wants to go with the ball. He's just not comfortable in the things that he's doing with Bruce Arians. They need, like you said, Shannon, he needs to go back. They need to let him go back and do what he does for the last 20 years and let him be successful at what he do.
Allow me to say this about Antonio Cromartie. He intercepted Tom Brady during Crow's career 4 times. So I'm not sure any other man intercepted Tom more than 4 times. So Crow did everything in his power to ungoat the GOAT, right? So he's got real insight into this. So, Antonio, what have you seen from 43-year-old Brady? Have you seen any decline at all in, I don't know, release or velocity or accuracy or any of those things?
I tell you this, the first game, he didn't look the same. Honestly, I think he was uncomfortable. The offensive line is not better than what he had in New England, to be honest with you. But I saw more of Tom Brady in the second game in that first half where he was able to get the velocity on the ball, get the ball out of his hands quick, and he was actually throwing timing routes. So when you can get him throwing off that back foot and not holding on to the ball and he can get it out on time, that's when Tom Brady's at his best. When you get him off his spot, he just becomes like any other quarterback, an average quarterback that cannot get the ball out of his hands quick enough because he has to hold on to it. He's not a guy that's going to extend the plays. So when he's not extending the plays, he has to try to get the ball out on timing routes.
So allow me to point out, at New Orleans, opening day, no preseason games, very little practice with a new group of receivers. He was graded with having 6 big-time throws in that game, which tied Aaron Rodgers for the most that Sunday or opening week, week 1 in the NFL. And the 6 throws, 4 of them created pass interferences downfield. But he was throwing deep balls. You can say he was lobbing deep balls, but he was throwing them to Mike Evans. There were 4 deep ones to Mike Evans. Chris Godwin got his share. Then Chris Godwin didn't play, obviously, in their home opener against Carolina. So, to me, maybe he's not throwing deep rockets, but he's throwing it up the field the way he throws it, which is on time. He's going to throw it before you get there and throw it up. And he hit Scotty Miller a couple times deep. So, I don't know. I'm seeing them push the ball down the field more than you guys are giving him credit for.
But, Skip, but where's the ball thrown at? Like you said, he threw the ball to Scotty.
Yep.
He threw the ball down the seam to Scotty.
He
That
did.
big throw for 25, 27 yards to Scotty that he caught right before halftime or something like that. You got to think the ball is being pushed down the middle of the field. Those are easier down the field throws that he can make, and he's going to create those mismatches. Scotty had a great mismatch on that play, so he's going to take that. You know, Tom Brady mindset and his offense was always built on, I'm going to take the mismatch no matter where it is. I'm going to take it, and I can get the run out the catch. Maybe I get 7 yards, maybe I get 25 yards, but we're moving the sticks. Then when I get the chance, I will take the shot down the field if they're going to give me a single high, and I know that my receiver can beat that DB.
Yeah, that's what, when I look at him, when watching him, I don't think he has the arm strength to consistently throw the out ball. If you notice it, look, Tom Brady is always, as you mentioned, he's always a guy that wants to get the ball out. He's more of a 3-step drop back, want to find the running back, want to find the slot receiver or somebody that's close. So if I'm a DB and I'm approaching Tom Brady, I'm playing everything quick. I'm not really concerned. Yeah, he'll try to throw the vert occasionally, but I know Tom Brady wants that ball to come out quick because as we get older, Crow, you know this, those licks hurt. Tom Brady will flinch in the pocket, so he wants to get the ball out of his hands. No, you take it. You take the hit. I don't want that hit. So I just think the thing is, if we temper the expectations, say, you know what, okay, Tom will figure this thing out. But if we're expecting to see 35 points a game, I don't believe that's what Tampa offense is capable of doing in this situation.
But not only that, take it back from week 1, the pick 6 by Jack Rabbit.
Jack Rabbit.
So you think about that out. The out was thrown late. It was thrown behind. It wasn't thrown on time. That's not Tom Brady's game. Tom Brady's game is inside the numbers, not outside the numbers. So why are we only time he's want to throw outside of the numbers? If you're showing 0 coverage and you give him 0, that slot always going to run what? An out route because what they're protecting the inside and protecting the inside leverage. So if I'm a guy that understands that, Tom Brady's not gonna make that throw. I'm gonna break on the ball every single time on the out route, and I'm gonna pick it off every single time. His game is in between the numbers. I need between the numbers and it's in between the hash with everything. That's how he won his games with Edelman, with Wes Welker, and all those guys. I mean, you know, it's just a point of just understanding his offense. Let him do what he do best, and let him take his shots when he needs to.
So I got a quick question. Did anybody but me see the ball that he threw in the fourth quarter to LaShawn McCoy where he broke the pocket to the right? He was actually doing something called running to his right, and he threw a rocket to LaShawn and hit him right in the hands in the back in the end zone, and he dropped it.
How many times have you ever seen Tom Brady do that in the course of his career?
Okay, but he did it at age 43.
Yes.
I said, who was that guy? Well, you got to give him some credit.
Yes.
Was he running or was he scooting?
I don't know.
But the thing is, but you talk about the out route. But you see that from that formation, you know the guy from that formation, Crow, is not running a go route. He take one step, he runs the speed out, you drive it. Jack Rabbit never got up his back pedal, and he knew from the alignment, what's the likelihood of Tom Brady being able to put this ball in front of him? So he jumps it.
That's what you do. You understand the offense. You know at that, if he's that tight, all he's going to go is out. So guess what I'm going to play? I'm going to play outside leverage, and I'm going to let him go and gain to the out and jump the route.
Exactly.
That's it.
All I can say is Shannon Sharpe is going to be in bigger and bigger trouble as this year wears on because Brady's going to get better and better in that offense, and they are going to win the NFC South.
Skip, I gave you 10-6. I was being generous. I gave you 10-6.
Skip, I gave you 10-6 or 11-5 now.
Well, see, we got some qualifications. 11-5. Shannon was saying, well, maybe. At one point, you were saying 11-ish.
No, I gave you 10-6. I was thinking 9-7.
Okay.
I just think the offense is going to get better. I think they haven't had everybody together on their offense. Godwin got hurt last week. He didn't play last week. Mike Evans didn't practice for 2 weeks because of a hamstring injury. So it's just disappointing. Once you get everybody healthy, get everybody on the same page, that's when things are going to work the way that it needs to. But not only that, man, once you got the running game going, that's going to help Tom Brady.
Right,
now you're taking the pressure off him. You're getting Leonard Fournette. You're getting the younger guys the ball. Now you're able to do that. Now you think about when you think about the New England offense again, you're going back to LeGarrette Blount, James White, and all those guys, those threats that he's had. Now he can create those mismatches. Now he can go down the field and run his play action like he needs to and go out and go throw the ball where he needs to go. So now once you get the running game going, what's that do? That draws the safeties up. That keeps everybody on the defense coming up on. Now you got an 8-man box. Now you can throw the ball over everybody's head and do what you're supposed to do.
I got 12-4.
No.
No.
Yep.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
I got 10-6, 11.
Confidence from that side of the table. Antonio, great to have you. Really appreciate your insight today. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.